All right, on to card number 4. So pop in our envelope. We just have the 2 little pieces on each side, and then of course that 2-inch square that is in the middle there. So I'm going to go with the smaller image for that one. Let me grab my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut down. I don't think that one's going to be big enough. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down to, if my paper in the middle is 2 by 2, I'm going to go down to 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and I'm just going to stamp and color on that little. I'm going to make a little mini scene, I guess you could say. And stamp that one. I'm going to bring in the Furious Farmyard animals again for this one. Now for this one, because in the layout, the center image is like kitty wampus, so I think we're just going to stamp it that way and make it work that way. Now you can do this one horizontally or vertically, either way would be fine. Let's see here. So where's my other? You know how when you clean and you place things places and then you don't know where you put them? Yep, current situation. Because I cleaned my desk off in between the 2 cards. Well, not cleaned, but straightened. Is that better? I put a few things away. Alright, so I think we're going to be okay. You know, you have 2 chances, right? So if it doesn't stamp good the first time, we can flip the piece of paper over and stamp it the second time. I'm going to bring in the Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink because I'm going to color with my alcohol markers again. And he fits perfectly on there. Doesn't he look like such a happy little guy? Grumpy old Gus. Okay. Since I have that stamp in there, let's grab, where's my envelope here? I'm going to do this one. Let's see, which way is he facing? He's facing this way. So I'm gonna put him over here. I didn't clean it. I'm okay with that. He's gonna be kind of, I lost my towel. Okay. Kind of a pinkish gray. So I'm going to come in with that Distress Oxide in Saltwater Taffy. Ink my finger up as per usual and then stamp him on top there. When you see the sentiment I picked out for this one, you're going to look at me and roll your eyes. I had to find a good inside sentiment though, like something about being old and grouchy, because that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so for that one, I gotta say, I hope we were on. Okay, and put that one there. So I have my little pig on the front. I don't know if I'm going to do anything else on the front yet. We will see. Let's grab my base here. And fold that one. I'm thinking, let's see. So I thought it would be fun to use the It's Your Birthday, Go Hog Wild, because he looks like the opposite of wild, which I think is hilarious, right? I don't know what I want to put on the inside yet. I probably won't do the inside on this one because I need to look for the sentiment. I'm looking for something like old and, you know, grouchy, but, you know, or partying like a rock star back in your blues, greens, and this one would be probably pretty good with some tone-on-tone stamping in the background. How is this one supposed to work? I followed the directions. You know, sometimes in life they say it's supposed to look one way and it doesn't. Unless I'm supposed to just, oh, I'm supposed to go. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna say, I followed the other one. So basically, we're putting these close enough together that they're going to connect in the middle. It's one of those do as you want. You could definitely switch them and go this way and just make them all like the chevron pattern, or what is that one? Argyle would be kind of cute to do with this one as well, if you don't want to do the straight up one. I need to add some pattern. So are we going to bring in, I should find like a party hat or something, because I think that would be cute. Let's see here. I was trying to stick with one stamp set, but we're probably going to end up having to bring in another one or two or three. All right, let me find a party hat, because that's what I want. So I'm bringing in Tailored Expressions Big Grumpy birthday ones for the hat, I think. I haven't decided exactly how I'm doing this one yet. Because I think I should be able to fit my sentiment on one of those. We'll see. So let's do the hat. And we'll put that one on there. And which one are we doing the hat with? I am just going to bring in a stamping block for this one. It's just faster for me to stamp and go. I think we're going to do I want to do the pink or the other one is blue. So I think we can do, let's do the saltwater taffy for our back, because I'm thinking that's, you know, I'm going to do the pig pink. So I'll do this one. And I'm just going to go for, you know, kind of haphazard. Kind of a pattern. Making sure that it goes off the page. There's going to be, you know, it is what it is. This is where you could definitely bring in another sheet from your 6x6 and do like a pattern on it if your 2 pieces of cardstock for your other part is unpatterned. At least mine is, so it's kind of where I'm at. And you could go all out and you could do this with, you know, you could color them in. I'm not that committed today, sorry. I think we're good because, well, oh no, it's gonna sit there, isn't it? Okay. And you do multi, I'm not, well, okay, I've done the multi different. Usually you start with your largest image if you're going to do more than one image on there, and then fill in with your other ones. So keep that kind of in mind if you're going to add some other ones in there. Okay, we'll set that one off to the side there. I need to bring in my speed ink. And we're going to do, I think we're going to do the tealy side, because I don't want too much pink. Those two done. This one. Do I want to do the brown? I haven't decided what side I'm going to do, so I'm going to go this way. The brown's pretty dark. I don't think you're going to see it on there anyways, but I'll do both sides just so I don't have to redo that step later. And then I am going to also do some ink blending on my card base here. If you have colored card base, I mean, that was, I thought about it because I could have come in with my colored cardstock. Like a colored card base would be the other option if you don't like your plain white. Maybe I should have come in with the pink on that one, but it'll do, pig, it'll do. Okay, so I have my base. Let's build our card and then we'll do the coloring because this one's a fairly simple one. So this one, this one goes here. So I'm just going to kind of line it up. So I can cheat the center with it. I will use this to kind of line it up, but in between there, about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch is kind of what we're looking at there. And I think that's pretty even. So my glue, maybe my glue. Oh, and then I grabbed the one that's being extra today. Okay. So now that I have my first one down, this one is really just going to be like butted up against there to help me place this one. If you have a ruler or a T-square, go ahead and use those. Do I have a ruler? I have a T somewhere? It's like a huge one, like a big, you know, big out in the shop style one, like for squaring up wood stuff. But I have it in here somewhere. It's a metal one. Anyways, that would work for that. I would say I'd buy a little one for card making, but I don't ever use it, so therefore I just can't bring myself to do it. I think I might want to go with the pink. I mean, you're not going to see much of it anyways, but I think it's going to pull in that from my base. And pop that one on. Yeah, we look pretty even. And sentiment. I was gonna go with the It's Your Birthday, Go Hog Wild. I love mixing stamp sets, stamp companies. I will buy a set just because I like a sentiment. Yeah, it's bad. Well, you know, I usually use the rest of the the rest of the set, but sometimes, you know, a sentiment, especially if they're on super sale, I have no problem buying just a set for some of the sentiments. It's probably why I have some florals in my stash. No, I'm just kidding. I have a couple florals. I do florals once in a while. I think I struggle with coloring florals, so therefore it's not my favorite thing to do. I am going to bring in the VersaFine Vintage Sepia for this one instead of the Onyx Black. The Onyx Black would stick out well. If that's what you have, use it. I just think this one with my tones, I think it's going to look a little bit better with the Vintage Sepia. It could have gone either way. The Onyx Black definitely would have popped a lot better if that's what you're looking for. My chickens are outside the window again. I was laughing because yesterday I got done filming and then I went and treadmilled. I look up because I read while I treadmill, right? So I was looking up, you know, because they're in the backyard and that's what I face when I treadmill. And I look up and all the chickens, all 16 chickens are like, I don't know if they saw me in the window walking, and so they all came running towards me on the treadmill. It was kind of funny. Anyways, yep, story of my life. Silly chickens. You know, just me living my life. All right, so I'm gonna bring in the pink for this one. I'm gonna bring in the green for the grass, and I might bring in my lightest blue-gray for the sky on this one, just to give me a little bit of, you know, character, I guess, to kind of make it a mini scene per se. So for this one, I'm just going to kind of lay down where I want my shadow. such a grumpy little pig. Ears. I want to do probably a lighter pink color for his ears. I'm going to bring in my next color down, which is the light prawn. This one I'm going to have to work it a little bit to get my color blend, because this one has kind of a jump to it. I wasn't in love with my palette, and then I worked it. I think I worked it like twice, and I liked it a lot better after I worked it the second time. So if you're not impressed with your color palette, it's okay. We all have that issue. Because I went back and forth, like, I switched that one out. I couldn't find a color that was better. And this one I think dries back less pink, or less bright pink. It kind of looks bright pink to me. And so I just wasn't in love with it. But ultimately, I ended up liking the blend once I worked it a little bit. So if you're struggling with the blend, or you just don't think it looks well enough, go over the whole area. So that darkest area that you colored already, it's gonna add on a layer of color to it, yes. It's also gonna help blend in the tone from the first or the second color into the first color, so you don't feel like you're totally out there color wise. And then for the, I'm gonna do 3 on this one just because it's not a huge image, but I want the peachy tones on this one as well. I'm gonna flip to the big side of the marker because this will take me forever. And then again with my lightest tone, I am going over that whole area. I want it to kind of subdue the really bright pink out and kind of give me this peachy pink tone. And you could probably skip the middle color maybe, and then just do some tip to tip to kind of blend your darkest and your lightest. I told you I was patient, right? Yep. Okay. I'm glad we had this TED Talk. And then I'm just going to add a second layer in the ears towards the head because it would be darker there. And then maybe a little bit on the underside of the nostril just to kind of give it a little bit more. I like the blend just because it kind of gives you a peachy pink, like the outside's really pink and then the inside is more of that peachy colored pink. I do kind of like it, especially for pig. It just kind of works. Okay, I'm happy with my pink blend. Now for my green, I don't need to go over the top. I'm just gonna add in a line on the grass here and then just kind of fade it out. I'm just doing sketchy lines there, and then I'm going to do the same with my blue gray on the top side. So just kind of where it meets that horizon line. Maybe under the whole pig, just because they're it's a little area. And then as I go up here, I'm just going to kind of start at the pig and go out a little bit, giving me some lines. And then I'm just going to do, there's dots on the stamped image, so I'm just going to kind of go with those dots, kind of add some little dots back in there with the blue. Trying to give it that illusion of, you know, sky, but without actually coloring the whole thing. leaving some blessed white space. I am not a white space girl, we know this. Okay, but there we have, you know, a fairly simple colored image. And we'll pop him on there. Feel free to pop him on some foam squares if you want him to sit up a little bit. You could have cut him out if you wanted to. I like the, you know, one layer little mini scene. And then for this one, if I can find it, I'm gonna do the black glaze on the eyes. So this is my leftover piece of paper here. Making sure that it is moving well. And then I'm just gonna come in and add those. Do I want to do, you could do, usually I will add a white highlight on top of them. It's not going to be dry though, so usually I wait for it to dry and then I just come in with the white and just do, this is dry, and just do like, I was going to say this is probably not working. Do a really light, just like a dot, so it kind of has that highlight effect. Well, that one's not going to work. At least not well enough that I trust it to go on top of the black. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in the number 10 then for this one. And just kind of add that highlight back into the eye. It's there in the stamped image. I cover it up with that black. Not really a big deal, but this way you get that little highlight there. Now you could definitely, let's do some inked spruce. I'm gonna do, ooh, that's got some color on there. Where is my, so you can use a Spectrum Noir sparkle brush. It's like a water brush. You can use a plain water brush. You can use a brush and water to do this. But I want to come in and just add a little bit of glitter to this hats in the background. I think it's going to help pull in the color from the sky, from this background piece of paper. I don't have to do all of them, just do kind of a couple of them, maybe make a triangle or two visually. I did the sparkle one because it's going to add some glitz and glitter, and we all know I love glitz and glitter. And you could do this step before you do the rest of your card, but I tend to add the little touches that I think are needed after I'm, after it's almost done. Sometimes it just looks like it needs something yet, so that's usually when I will add that little something that I think it needs. This one was just too plain for me. I can't even say I colored in the lines today. Okay. Let's do, that's a visual triangle. That's like an outlier. Let's do this one here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We'll do this guy here. Like missing a hat. I should have put another hat in there. We'll do the opposite stripe on this one. Just make it look different. Splatter probably would have been a good way to go. Wow. You know what they say. I might have thought of it after the fact. That doesn't mean I can't splatter. Okay, I'm just going to cover up my pig with some Post-its. This is called Jamie, creating on the fly 101. Okay. I'm just going to add some water to my ink that I have smushed on my mat here, and then we're just going to tap. So I like a long bristled brush. I don't know, it just splatters better to me. This one is super fine. It's like a fine detail brush, I think. But this will add just a little bit of something to that plain background. I just felt like it needed more color. If I was doing this one not on camera and I was just looking at the design and going, it needs, like, the background just needs like a pattern piece of paper, I would have probably just cut another piece of paper to fit my background. Yeah. Okay, I'm good with that. Feel to reveal, woman. Okay, there we go. So there is our It's Your Birthday, Go Hog Wild. He looks so excited. All right, let's go on to the inside. Let's see. And what's that? Grumpy? Did Grumpy have an okay sentiment on him? Well, let's see. Where did I go with Grumpy? Okay. Hope someone bakes you a cake. Abracadabra, nope, you're still old. Make a wish and then blow out the bonfire. We'll go with that one. I think the Big Grumpies might still be available from Tailored Expression. Don't quote me on that. I got mine quite a few years ago. I love that sometimes, some companies can keep stamps in stock like forever, but ultimately it doesn't make sense for them all to keep them. That's why, I go back and forth with different stamps, different stamp sets, different, because I have a little bit of everything. This is my iced spruce. I don't know if it needs to be like re-inked. It's kind of funky. That's what I get for using a dye and pigment fusion ink. Girl. Which other one? Weathered Wood does the same thing to me. It kind of like separates on the pad. If you have that happen, if you take like an old credit card or gift card and you like push it around on there, it'll help like mix it back up. I just don't probably use that one a lot. So there we go. Make a wish and then blow out the bonfire. There isn't a candle on that cupcake. That's what I was thinking. I could do the little candle. Big Grumpy. Okay. Alrighty. I am content with that one. We could have stamped the pig on the inside, but I think we're good. We're fine with this one. So there is that one. That is card number 4.
Hope you got your s'mores ready. It's time for stamp camp.